All right, so in this video, we're going to take a look at technical analysis versus fundamental analysis when it comes to trading penny stocks. So stay tuned. All right, so I think a lot of people, when they get into trading penny stocks, they're really trying to evaluate these companies the normal way that they go about investing stocks. They go about looking at the records, looking at their earnings sheets, and this is ultimately what many people do is they go check out some of these financial analyst reports. They'll go take a look, hey, how's the company doing? How's it performing? Current quarter, what's the growth estimates next quarter? It looks great because when you take a look at this, it says that it might be up about 300% or 115%. When in reality, the past 5 years, it's been going down about 20%. So that's one thing you got to really realize and recognize is that when you're dealing with penny stocks, you're dealing with speculative trades. Now, with that in mind, it's not to say that you can't trade them. You just have to trade them properly and the right way. And that's why we have an upcoming course called the Penny Stock Profits course. So if you're serious and interested about trading the cheaper stocks, the penny stocks, the more speculative stocks, you can check this course out at our website at tradersfly.com. And we actually are doing a secondary course where we have case studies, a full evaluation on the technicals when it comes to trading penny stocks, which basically means you get 40% off if you get it during the promotion that we're having right now. So anyways, with that being said and that in mind, I think you get the answer to the big question, and that is which way is better, technicals versus fundamentals when it comes to penny stocks. It's really technicals. A lot of the penny stocks, they move based on the technicals. And why is that? Well, if you take a look here at our paper, when you look at the long-term investing, okay, when you look at long-term investing, and you evaluate, how do people make decisions? Well, it's based on the fundamental data. It's based on all those reports, those sheets, those earnings calls. And why is it? Why is it that fundamentals, when you look at these, fundamentals are for the long term? Well, it's because when you're dealing with big companies or just companies in general, even, try and think about redoing a website. It takes sometimes a handful of weeks or months to redo those things, depending on how large of a company you are. So big companies, for that ship to turn around, so if you got, let's say, a big ship, and you got to turn that boat around to go in the other direction, it takes a very long time. And that's why a lot of the long-term investing takes into account the fundamental data. But for penny stocks, when you're looking at penny stocks, the majority of the trading you're doing in penny stocks is shorter term or not super long term. In some regards, you might have some long-term investment penny stocks. Maybe you put in a little bit of cash for the long term, but a lot of it is going to probably be shorter term trades. They might be a 2 to 4 day hold. They might be a single day hold. They might be a 5 to 25 day hold, but very few are based on fundamental data because there's, number one, there's not a lot of fundamental data out there. Number two, that fundamental data doesn't apply and it does change fairly quickly. So a lot of penny stocks, they trade based on momentum. So if you're taking a look at these penny stocks, look, it's not that something drastically changes all of a sudden when you look at these kinds of sheets. It's just, hey, you get that explosion and then you take your profits. You're waiting for that explosion, that breakout, the momentum, and then you take your profits. And eventually these things usually sell back off. So if you take a look at many of these companies, let's just take a look. So here's your penny stock move. Well, maybe you had a nice breakout, you got into the stock, boom. And then the rest of the time it's flat or eventually starts selling off. And you can see that happening in a handful of charts. So here's another one right there. Well, maybe you got into the stock right here. You rode it for a couple days, and then now it's coming back to where it was. And that's the nature of penny stocks. That's what you have to realize and recognize is they're not necessarily trading off of fundamental data. Some people, of course, do get into these things thinking, hey, I'm going to hold this one for a couple years, and it may pan out and work out for them. But the majority of the time, when you're looking at technicals versus fundamentals, you got to stick to the technicals when it comes to penny stocks, because these are more speculative plays. They're usually shorter term duration. And that's what you really got to realize and recognize as you're trading these things, because they are trades and less so much an investment. So anyways, when you look at these things, just continue to look and evaluate the charts, and you'll notice and you'll see that the majority of them do sell off with time, even if they had a few nice weeks or months. So here you could see, could have rode it for almost a year, but then it comes back. So again, they're trades. They're usually not on long-term investments. And of course, you could dive deeper. I could take this ticker, BTAI. Let's see what we can find. BTAI. And you can say, okay, well, let me look at the Analyst. Let me look at, let's see, summary. What's going on with this company? What's the news? But how do you trade it based on the news? Because a lot of the times, sometimes those companies, they go out and pump the news, or the news is created, or hey, it's filled with positive things. There's some press releases there as well. So you could go ahead and start looking into these things, historical data, what's been going on. But all of that doesn't tell you the picture of how you should trade it. Because if you're doing this, you're looking for a very long-term investment. And in that case, you should really be even more familiar with the company than just looking at fundamental data reports. Otherwise, if you're looking to trade something actively, then in that case, you have to learn the technicals. Now, we have a lot of great classes when it comes to technical analysis. So if you want to learn how to trade stocks by the technicals, check out our website. But of course, if you're serious about trading penny stocks, we get into this as well in the Penny Stock Profits course. So definitely check that course out. Before the end of the special, you can get that second course as well, absolutely free, which gives you a nice bundle to getting you set up and trading penny stocks the right way. So anyways, I hope you found this video helpful and insightful and gave you some things to think about as you trade penny stocks in the future or look to invest in them. If you did and you want to see other great training videos that we have available, feel free to subscribe to the channel or our newsletter list by clicking the link over here. And if you want to just stay on YouTube, you can click the face icon here, so that way you get notified as we release other great videos. Thanks again, and I will see you next time.